Alright, found the light that I want to use, got everything figured out. Now I'm just going to build another box because the box that I did have going apparently at this point is going to be just a little too small. So I have to build another one, but not a big deal because this one's going to go together a lot quicker and actually going to be a lot better because I screwed up on the first one a little bit, which is going to make it a little harder to work with, but it wasn't a big deal. I built the box and then was going to put the aluminum inside it. Well, that only made it more difficult. So now I'm going to aluminum each inner side so when I put it together I don't have to worry about it. Makes sense, huh? I think so. And it will be a bit more efficient. Now, hold on a minute. Each one of these is going to be for themselves, for their own. Even though these are all cut the same, why take a chance? I just want a little bit of space. I don't want it so close that I'm going to have a little problem with it. You know, trying to get it in the box. Yes, I said a problem getting it in the box. So for all you perverts out there, yes. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut each and every one of these. Take it one step at a time. Hey, you know what I heard? I don't know how true it is. My son is checking into a little bit further because he had called me actually. My youngest son right now lives in Florida. And he's been in there for some time. I mean, like, God, who knows how long. Years. Well, not years, but at least 10 years. Anyway, he's married. Has 2 children, and the woman he married has a child, so naturally that makes 3 children, because he looks at that one as his own, which I'm proud of him for that. And he was telling me that Florida apparently is going to make some changes with firearms and some of the new laws. Now, in a way, I can understand it. I mean, I really can. I'm not a badass, all right, to where I don't understand, nor do I, one of these people that don't forgive. I do have some thoughts on it, though, but, again, there's reasons why I guess it doesn't happen, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a twofold here, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, it's almost like a double standard, but it's not, if you know what I mean. But anyway, to make a long story short, my son is in Florida, and he was telling me that Florida is now thinking about changing the law so that a felon can buy, own, and carry a handgun. Now, to be honest with you, I kind of disagree with that. Now, a felon can change. I totally agree. I know people that had tons. I mean, they had some heavy felons on them. Like, well, one guy I know had 22 or 23 counts of breaking and entering. Breaking into homes while people were home even. I mean, they used to call him the cat burglar when he was around, actually, because that's, how it was. Well, he had made a total change. He really did. That happened when he was, I want to say, oh, I remember, he was 17, and because they waited to trial him in a superior court, because breaking and entering in a superior court is kind of like, you know, a minor thing, but in a town court, you know, a city court, that's a big offense. Now, because he did it in a number of towns, he could have gone to each town and gotten time, you know, which means, wow, hello. Well, if the law goes to Superior Court, makes it a bigger charge. However, he doesn't have to worry about, you know, each town giving him time or whatever. Well, because of his age and all that happened, by the time he got to court, he was actually almost 19 years old. They tried him as an adult. Now, at that point, they because he's never been in trouble, he was hanging around with 25 and 26-year-olds, that type of thing. He ended up where he had gotten 3 years probation. However, he did have a felony on his record after that, you know, which would have been for the rest of his life. Well, he decided later in life that he wanted to get a better job. He wanted to start thinking about getting a gun permit and stuff like that. And so what he did was he got a hold of Board of Pardons. He had asked them what he has to do. They told him they have an attorney that will guide him through it for nothing. You know, now the attorney's not going to do the work, but he will tell you what you have to do, and you can call him up with any questions, and he will take you step by step through the procedure of doing what has to be done. All right. So anyway, he had done this. It took him almost a year. Well, he got his pardon. And I'll tell you what, since he had gotten his pardon, this guy hasn't even gotten a traffic violation. You know, I mean, he's, well, let me see, I'm 66. So he's 63, 64 maybe. Yeah. All right, so it's been like, oh, I don't know, it's got to be 35 years or so. I don't know, somewhere in that neighborhood. But anyway, he's doing quite well. So, where I'm going with this is, if you're a felon, you know, you got there on your own, as a rule. The Board of Pardons they're there for you. They're not your enemy unless you're just a big old asshole, you know, and, you know, you're getting arrested every day. If that's the case, don't even bother going. You know, if you've got a heavy rap on you from 2-3 years ago, don't even bother going. But anyway, you know, go to the Board of Pardons. Do your homework. Do your time like this guy did. It took him over a year. But he did it. You follow me? He showed initiative as he wanted to straighten out. We didn't just hand it to him. You follow? So in that sense, I feel that they really shouldn't just give it to them. Now their reasoning is they're only going to give it to the ones who have, like, one step above misdemeanors. You know what I mean? You know, something that's really shouldn't have been tried as a felon. You know, that should be somewhere on the books as a misdemeanor or something. So the lightweight stuff, the stuff that had no robberies, no armed robberies, no assaults, you know, no breaking, you know, just, you know what I mean. Well, in that case, I can kind of understand it, because their crime, even though it was a crime, it wasn't a crime. And if they haven't been in trouble since that crime, you know, it's almost like, well, okay. You know what I mean? You know, if they got arrested for a felon of whatever it may be, you know, a lightweight felon, you know, that was just something stupid, all right, but yet it carries a felon. Yeah, and it's 10 years later, and they've been straight and narrow. Well, you know what? You know, I mean, it shows that it was a mistake and it was an initiative that, you know, and everything's over with. So I can kind of understand that. Okay. However, that just opens the doors for other felons, because where's the line going to be drawn as to what charges were or not acceptable for this so-called, I'm going to call it a pardon even though it isn't, because they're still going to have the record, to give them a gun permit. So, now I agree, and I know all you gung-ho guys out there are going to say, oh yeah, everybody has the right. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, if that's the case, we're going to lose our permits, our rights real quick. Because if we can't govern ourselves and start thinking about, well, okay, hello, do we want to start giving somebody that broke into a house and used a gun, 10 years ago and never decided he wanted to go for a pardon, never tried to better himself, he's still working someplace, under the table or whatever the case may be, and because it's his right, you want to give him a gun? No. If that's the case, take your guns, go sell them on the street to some drug dealers. It's the same thing. You're only making it worse for the guys like, us that want to carry legitimately, that believe in everything we do, make it a point to stay out of trouble, and do things right. So, yeah, it's their right. But you know what? That right was taken from them when they fucked up. Now, if they want to straighten it out, let them show initiative and go through the steps and to prove that they want to make a change. Then I'm all for it. So, but anyway, Florida's talking about doing that, which I can kind of, again, I kind of mixed emotions on it, because again, it is a felon. But at the same token, how deep was the felon? What actually was it? You know what I mean? So, anyway, guys, I'm going to get back to doing what I got to do. Alright, so I did all my measurements, so I have all the measurements. So instead of me, like I say, assembling the box and then trying to work in the box, I'm going to do all the work outside the box and then assemble the box, if you know what I mean. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drill a hole for the lens for the camera. Now I can't just drill the hole because I don't have the other one. If I drill a hole and I put the camera in there, the lens is going to be recessed quite a bit, which means it's going to make it look kind of tunnel vision, if you know what I mean. It's going to kind of like just close it up a little bit on me, and I don't want that. I want to try to get as much field of view as possible. So what I'm going to want to do is have a small hole, but I want it to fan out here so that it gives me that field of view. But yet I want the hole itself small enough so that it just takes the lens, and not a lot of empty space, and have it where, all kinds of foul weather and air is getting in there. So that's what I'm up against. So right now I'm going to start by drilling the center hole.